What is up, everyone? It's Ariel, the licensed mental health counselor, and we're back with another episode of Level Up Your Mental. And today I want to talk about what it means when I say you didn't fail, you learned a lesson. Failure is a part of life, and I think a lot of us have a negative relationship when it comes to failure. And I want us to be able to change our mindset when it comes to this, because it's something that we're going to go through throughout our life. It doesn't change starting from when we're young to when we become older. We're always going to go through something where it's not going to go the way that we plan, or things are just not going to work out. So I think it's important that we learn to change our relationship with failure and understand that we didn't fail, we just learned a lesson. And while I'm talking about this, I'm going to be doing a power wash simulator, which is basically just me just cleaning off some stuff, but something to be able to have you guys something to look at while I'm talking, but also just a really relaxed and chill space. This is why I created this channel. This is why I wanted to do this. It's because I love mental health. I love talking about these topics, but I also love playing video games and just doing regular cozy hobbies. One day when I do get a bigger channel and stuff, I'll be able to go live and be able to play games and talk about certain things. But until that is the case, I want to have the games there as something for you guys to look at. Nothing too crazy, but just something for you to look at while I'm talking about these topics. So a lot of times when people fail, they feel threatened, right? That sense of threat can trigger a fight or flight response. And when I say that, I mean that when it comes to flight, right, they dismiss the value of the task, right? It completely diminishes everything, right? They go straight to the unfairness of the situation that they faced, right? They don't even look at the part that, okay, I was actually able to at least do something, but because I failed, then I automatically know that it was pointless. There was no point in me doing it. It was just a part of my life that I should have never done, and it's already the negative, right? But I want people to change their perspective when it comes to failure, because we have to know that we're not always going to be perfect at things. A lot of times it may take somebody more than once, twice, even 3 times to be able to do something, and that's okay. We have this connotation in our head that if we don't do something right the first time, then it's pointless, it doesn't make any sense, there's no point in doing it. But that's not true, right? So, like, I try to tell people, the greatest people in our world, the people who are goats at their craft, the people who do their jobs well, they had to fail a couple of times to get to where they need to be. They've made mistakes, they've done a lot of things, but it didn't stop them from getting to where they need to be. It just made them stronger. It let them know that, even though I didn't make it the first time, I was able to do it again. Failure doesn't define who you are as a person, right? Failure should be seen as a learning opportunity. It should be a thing to say, okay, I didn't do it right the first time. What did I learn? How can I approach this differently? What do I need to surround myself with in order to do better the next time, right? It's not like the minute that you do something, you're automatically going to get it right the first time. When we go into something, we have to understand that, yeah, we might go through and it might be successful, but there's also that possibility that it might not work out too, and that's okay, right? We just learn from why it didn't work out. And we have to start seeing, like, embrace the failure, right? Learn from it, use it as motivation, use it as a way to be like, okay, I didn't work this time, but the next time I'm gonna do it like this. There is going to be a next time. I'm not going to sit here and, pout about it and be upset with myself about it, when I could literally use that as a way to push myself and get it right the next time, right? And I think the also thing that comes with failure is that you're literally being forced to adapt, to learn, and to grow stronger, right? When you fail at something, a lot of times there's a lot of restrictions, as far as like when you can go back and do this thing again. Doesn't matter what it is in life. Sometimes it's a time frame, sometimes you have to literally wait. And so it's making you adapt to whatever it is that you're going through, and then you learn from it, and then you grow stronger, right? Understanding that you didn't fail, you just learned a lesson, right? Each setback that you overcome in life, it equips you with the necessary skills and the mindset to navigate any future hurdles or issues that you may have moving forward. If you are somebody who has never failed at anything, and you were given stuff by hand and you never had to work for it, or whatever the case is, it's going to be kind of hard for you to deal with something the minute that you fail. But if you are somebody who has gone through a lot of hardships, and you have failed through certain things, and you know what that feeling of failure feels like, then you will learn how to adapt to it. You will learn how to use that feeling and whatever it is that you went through as a thing to motivate yourself and do better the next time. But again, it's understanding that the failure is not a terrible thing, right? You just learned a lesson. And then, also too, when that failure does happen and you're in that moment, I think people also tend to forget too, you have to learn to be kind to yourself, right? Be caring to yourself. It could be tempting to engage in self-criticism and self-talk and automatically put yourself down like, oh my gosh, I'm stupid, I'm ugly, I should have never done this is so dumb. Right? It's so easy for us to just go to that because it's so easy to just say those words out our mouth, right? But we also have to understand too, we go through so much criticism and ridicule and negativity through our own lives, through the world, through the people that we engage with, the people that we see online, the people just out in life. We deal with so much criticism and negativity. You kind of have to look at it like, why would I want to continue to be a negative talk to myself? I'm supposed to be my own hype man. Why would I want to continue to put negative thoughts into my own head and making myself believe that I can't do the things that I want to do? Even from being a kid, I always had it in my mind that I'm going to do the things that I want to do because I'm going to put the work to do it. There might be some bumps in the road, but if I truly want to do something, I'm going to make it happen. And that's for anything in life, whether it's school, some other things might be a little bit harder than others, but if you want to do something, you're going to make it happen. And you're going to make it happen any way that you want it to happen. And it's the same thing with life. And if things fail, you want to make sure that you instill positive talk into yourself and understanding that you're okay. You failed, you learned a lesson from it, and you're going to do better the next time. But you have to be able to be your own hype man and put those words in, because at the end of the day, you're really only going to have yourself. Your family, of course, is always going to be there, friends are always going to be there, but you really have to understand that you have to be your own hype man first. You have to learn how to have the motivation, the confidence within yourself to get to where you need to get to. Because if you don't have that within yourself, it's going to be kind of hard for you to be able to do certain things. In order for you to be the best that you can be, you have to be confident within yourself and speak those words to yourself. I know a lot of athletes do that too before their games or just in general. Like, they have their own mantras and their own things that they do before games in order to make them feel good. And you have to be able to find that within yourself, even when you fail. You have to be able to understand that you're gonna learn from this. It wasn't a complete failure. You were able to learn some lessons, and you're gonna be okay moving forward, right? And once we're able to start putting those positive words into ourselves and being able to feed positiveness into ourselves and create that as a regular thing for us, it's going to create a relationship of improving your emotional health, right? It's giving you the ability to bounce back and do the things that you want to do even when you do mess up. So once you start feeding those positive words into yourself and understanding that it's okay, you didn't make it out the first time and you had to go back and do this thing 5-10 times in order to get it right, it's okay, right? I know that I can do the things that I want to do because I was able to do it right, even though it took me 3, 4, 5 times, right? I was able to push myself and understand that I can do it. And I think this also comes from people comparing themselves to somebody else. Oh, because somebody got it right the first time, I should be able to do the same. But you're not that person. And there's nothing wrong with that. Some people, it takes them a couple times to get something right. Some people, they're good and they're able to get it right on the first try. And we also have to understand too, some people are, they're well equipped in certain areas than other people. Some people are great test takers. They can pass the test the first time and they're good. Other people, it takes them a couple of tries, right? And so we can't compare ourselves to other people and put ourselves down because somebody else is doing well in something that we're not. We have to use that in order to push ourselves to be able to get to the point where we understand that, I can get there too. I just have to be my own hype man. I got to be able to push myself and be able to understand that I will get there as long as I put in the work and I feed myself with the positive words that I need to feel. And then the other important part too is that when you learn from your mistakes, it's also you taking accountability, right? You're also letting yourself know that I messed up because I did this, and I'm gonna make sure that I don't make the same mistake again. Now, depending on what it is, of course, yes, there are certain things that we can't, you know, it happens in life, and there are certain things where you don't want to see yourself making that mistake again, because you would think that when you learn the first time, you understand that you can't make that mistake again. But we definitely have to learn that it's okay to make mistakes, but it's very important to learn from them and understand that we don't want to create this thing to be a habit. We have to learn from our mistakes and, learn to move on and do better. We can't just, automatically do the mistake and then start doing the same thing again. That doesn't really show people that we learn from it, right? We're just making mistakes and just doing the same thing over and over again because we feel like it, and that doesn't really show people that we are able to hold ourselves accountable and that we're able to learn from the things that we did and show up better the next time. And then the other thing too, when it comes to getting prepared for something and making sure that we're learning how to deal with failure, before you go and engage in things, I want people to also think about it in the sense of, anytime that you go into something, know that there is a small percentage that it might not work out. Nothing in life is perfect. Not everything that we go through is gonna go the way that we want it to go, right? But you also have to embrace that there might be something that might go wrong. And sometimes we have to be able to put that into our head that something might go wrong. It's better to at least embrace that than to sit there and try to hide from it or to push it away and act like that's not a possibility. It is a possibility. It might be a small percentage, but it is a possibility. And the more that we learn to engage on both sides, that it can work out and it can't work out, and both of those things are okay, that's when we start to, learn how to be good with our emotions, being emotionally intelligent. We can't be upset with something and be mad at the world for years and years, days and days, months and months. Like, that's not effective. It doesn't help you at all in any way. You just end up being mad at yourself and being mad at the world, and being angry and being upset takes a lot of work. It's a very, very strong emotion. And the more work that you put into being upset, you could be using all that work to motivate you to move on or to do better and to be able to push you to get to those goals of where you need to be, instead of being upset and blaming yourself and mad at everybody and mad at the world. It doesn't help and it's not beneficial. So you have to learn to embrace both sides of something might work, something might not work. And then also understanding that, being prepared to deal with those challenges if they show up. If we think that this is going to work out and we plan, we also, there's a possibility it might not work out, then we understand, okay, we knew that this might not work out. And we were able to at least think of what the scenario might be and plan according to that. Because in life, either way it could go. I try to tell people all the time, you can plan all you want, but the world has a way of being able to push you out of your comfort zone or making you do things that you weren't originally going to do because you planned a certain way, right? I don't know how many times I've heard from people, oh man, I had a plan to be this, to be that in life, but life definitely showed me, or they definitely pushed me into a whole different direction. Because there are people who, they grew up saying, I'm gonna be this when I grow up, blah blah blah, but then they grow up, they get into different experiences, they meet different people, and then it opens their eyes to all these different things that they can do in life. And so they start to look at other options, and that's okay too. So I want people to understand that failure is a progressive move towards success, right? Rather than a regressive one, thinking that they're going to be pushed back because they failed at something. No, use it as a way to motivate yourself, push yourself to get there. Understand that just because I failed this one time doesn't mean that I can't go back and do it again. So many people, like I've said before, that are the GOAT at their job have been through so many loops and bounds. You might not have seen it, you might not, they might not talk about it, but a lot of times people have gone through a lot of stuff. Nobody is perfect in their job. Nobody is perfect at the things that they do. People make mistakes. But the whole point is not letting that mistake push you back and let you know, oh well, I'm not going to do it anymore, I'm never going to do it again, I'm over it, I'm done, right? That's not fair to you and it's not beneficial. Now this is different if you go and you do something and you fail and you didn't like it, and now you're just like, well, I just don't feel like doing it anymore. That's different. Now if you really want to do something, or something has to get done and you fail, and then you just say, I don't want to do it anymore, and then now that changes everything, it's not helpful for you. And so we have to look at the failure as a way for us to bounce back, stay motivated, maintain a positive perspective, and give us the feedback and the energy that we need to be able to try again and to be able to do this thing again. And when you start to develop a positive mindset, and I'm not saying that people who do have a positive mindset never see anything negative. We're human beings, of course we're going to get upset, we're going to cry, things are going to happen, but it's all about giving yourself time to feel that, and then honestly getting to the point where you are able to push yourself through that, right? You can be upset and you can be mad for the day, for a couple of hours, that's fine, but don't let that be a reason that you never want to do something ever again. You're just letting the failure, the negativity, or whatever it be the reason that you don't ever want to do something again. And that's not helpful, right? We're all able to do things in life as long as we put the effort to it, right? And so once you're able to conquer your fear of failure, right, you can recognize and accept your emotions, and you treat yourself with empathy, right? You start to be nice to yourself, and you understand that, I failed at something, but that's okay, right? We're gonna do this again, we're gonna put in the work, and we're gonna learn from whatever it is that we did wrong, and we're gonna see how we can come out better on the other end. You don't want to automatically just give up. And like I said before, it's so easy to just give up and not do anything, right? Giving up is so easy because all you have to do is just stop. But there's so much more when you put in the work and push yourself through all the hard times to get to the point where you want to be. It makes you stronger, it makes you resilient, and it honestly makes you look at yourself like, I can make it through anything. If I'm able to make it through this hardest part in my life, if I'm able to push myself and be able to get to the other side, then it helps me know that I'm strong enough to be able to get through anything else that creates a hurdle in my life. And so that, kind of brings me to the fact that when it comes to failures, we have to focus on identifying and implementing solutions, right? Rather than revolving around the problems. Just because something didn't go right doesn't automatically mean that we have to focus on the negative. Oh, we didn't do right because we didn't do this, we didn't do that. No, let's look at, okay, I'm going to learn from this, and I'm going to start a plan on how I want to approach it the next time. How do I do this the next time so that I don't end up messing up again? Or if I do mess up again, it's my fault, I can learn from it, right? Because that's so to say that you could also go back and fail multiple times until you get something right. But we have to learn to be okay with that, and understanding that we might fail, and that's okay, but we can pick ourselves up and be able to get to the other side and be successful, right? So I just want people to understand that it's okay to fail. Now, we're not failing on purpose, but when situations happen and we plan and we do everything that we can in our power in order to do the things that we want to do or get to that goal, and it doesn't work out the way that we want it to, we have to understand that you didn't fail. You just learned a lesson, right? You learned whatever lesson that may be. If something didn't work out, because I don't want to use fail, if something didn't work out, let's say a relationship didn't work out, you thought that this person was the one, you thought that you guys were going to be together forever, but it didn't work out, right? For whatever reason, you guys grew out of each other, or things are just not working out, it's not beneficial for either person. You didn't fail at the relationship. You did everything that you could. Maybe there are some things that you look back on and you're like, oh man, I could have done this, I could have done that. But we also have to remember too, we can't go back. We can't go back into the past and fix anything. Like that, it's impossible. It's not anything that we can do. But what we can do is learn from whatever it is that happened. We can either, give ourselves grace, forgive ourselves for anything that we did, and then learn what to do moving forward. Because at the end of the day, you're gonna run into a lot of ups and downs and bumps in your life, and you have to learn how to be okay with the feeling that comes with that, and understanding that you're gonna be okay and you're gonna make it to the other side, and you are your hype man. Do not feed into the negativity that comes with whatever it is that you didn't go well for you. Don't be part of the negativity that we already see in this world. You want to be able to push yourself and do the things that you want to do. I just want to get the word out there and be able to be a positive image to people, and understanding that it's okay, right? These are a lot of things that we're dealing with. There's a lot of emotions, but everybody goes through things. We all deal with stuff, and at the end of the day, we're gonna make it through because we've done that before. And so I want to thank you guys for coming to another episode. If you guys would like to join on the conversation, please comment down below. If there's any topics that you want me to talk about, please let me know. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.